Big story out of Oklahoma where the Muscogee Nation, they now have to abide by a landmark ruling that recognizes African Americans and the descendants who are part of this nation. Attorney DeMauro Solomon Simmons has been leading this effort. We, of course, have talked about it several times as well. He joins us right now, of course, co-founder of Justice for Greenwood. So go ahead and tell us what's up with the Creek Freedmen. Walk people through what happened today and how significant this is, DeMario.
Well, good to see you, Roland. This is very significant because for the first time in 46 years, Black Creeks, also known as Creek Freedmen, will now have their citizenship rights restored to the Muscogee Creek Nation. This will impact tens of thousands of Black Creeks throughout the nation who will not only receive their birthright and their citizenship rights, but also have opportunities to have tangible benefits, life-sustaining and altering benefits like free health care, child care, education benefits, etc.
Okay, so explain to folks, why would they have free health care, free child benefits? What, as a result of the Muscogee Nation? Explain that.
Sure. Well, the Muscogee Creek Nation was one of the five quote-unquote civilized tribes who in the late 1700s, early 1800s adopted European-style culture, speaking English and having a plantation-style economy. And a part of that was the enslavement of Africans and of their own indigenous Black members. And so when they was moved to Oklahoma in the 1830s and continued to enslave and continue to discriminate against their Black members, they sided with the Confederacy during the Civil War. They lost, obviously the Confederacy lost the war at the time, and so they had to do new treaties. And that treaty of 1866, which was negotiated and signed by 5 individuals, one of them being my four-time great-grandfather, Cal Tom, ended enslavement within the Creek Nation, and it also granted citizenship to all Creeks of African descent. But in 1979, the Creek Nation decided they did not want the Creeks of African descent anymore, and they illegally excluded us through their new constitution. And so we've been fighting that battle ever since. And today, their own Supreme Court affirmed that the Treaty of 1866 guarantees Creeks of African descent, also known as Creek Freedmen, to have full citizenship within the Creek Nation.
For folks who don't know, walk through how long this legal battle's been going on, because they were trying everything to shut y'all down.
Yeah, even when you came down, Roland, you saw it firsthand. Listen, I started working on this in 1999 when I was trying to get my own citizenship. And then when I graduated law school in 2004, this was the first case I took to trial in 2005. And we lost in 2007. We lost again in 2018. We lost in 2019. But we kept hitting it, and we had a victory in 2023 that the Creek Nation appealed. And it's from this appeal that we have finally heard their Supreme Court say, yes, you can win. Because in 2007, the Muscogee Nation Supreme Court ruled against us. So this is an amazing day. It is just, I can't stop smiling. And I just wish my grandmother, Johnny Mae Austin, who died in 2019 at 89 years old, who was a named plaintiff in our case in 2018, she spoke Creek, and she grew up on our Creek allotment. I just wish she was here to witness this.
Explain when you said their Supreme Court. People may not realize that these Native American tribes, they have a separate system than the United States Supreme Court.
Absolutely. Thank you, Roland, for that question. So the Creek Nation is the 4th largest Native American tribe in the nation. It has over 100,000 members or citizens. And so it has a fully functioning government with a principal chief, an executive office. It has a legislative office, which they call the National Council. And then they have a judiciary where they have a district court, just like in the United States. And then they have a Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court in the Muscogee Creek Nation has 7 members. 2 of those members had to recuse for our case. And so 5 members decided it. And I'm happy to report that it was a unanimous decision.
Okay, so they had to recuse themselves. Were they 2 of the ones who were previously involved in the case? So what happened there?
Yeah, the 2 that had to recuse themselves were previously involved in the drafting of the 1979 Constitution that excluded Black Creeks. And so I'm very happy that they did the right thing and recused from this particular case, because this case was about what is supreme. Is the Constitution of the Creek Nation, or is it the supreme law of the land because of the Treaty of 1866? So just for the listeners to understand, under the law, treaties of the United States is second only to the United States Constitution. So that's why we were saying no matter what their constitution, the Creek Nation's constitution stated from 1979, the Treaty of 1866 has never been abrogated or made invalid, and that is what covers and controls in this situation.
Obviously, a huge issue. I want to bring in my panel right now. Joining us right now on our panel is, of course, Rebecca Carruthers, President CEO, Fair Election Center. Glad to have her on the show. Also, A. Scott Bolden, attorney here in Washington, D.C. Joe Richardson, civil rights attorney out of Los Angeles. Glad to have three of you here. So I guess I'll have the lawyer start. Joe, you start with your question for DeMario.
First of all, DeMario, congratulations. This is an incredible accomplishment, and it is obviously very personal for you for some obvious reasons because of your own history. But tell me this, do you see any possibility with this potentially being precedential in terms of setting a precedent that other folks that believe they belong to tribes, because the point is made that tribes, one of the things that the tribes did a pretty good job of is getting, self-determination, funding, setting up casinos and things like that, where the people that are members do quite well. Have there been any discussions that you had over the years that lead you to believe that perhaps in some other areas where we have brothers and sisters who are descendants of tribes, that this could possibly be a route that they may try to take as well?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I mean, right, definitely. I mean, you had the Cherokee Nation, which is the largest Native American nation, almost 500,000 members. They had a similar issue that I worked on. That was resolved in 2017. The Creeks are now. You also have the same issue with the Choctaw. You remember the movie Sinners. We all love the movie Sinners. And in the very beginning of the movie, they had the Choctaw Indians that were actually chasing the vampire. Well, the Choctaw Nation was one of those nations that enslaved Black folks and one of those nations that discriminated against Black folks. And right now, they are doing the same thing that the Creeks have been doing. And so that's the issue that we're looking at. Also within the Seminole Nation. You have Black Seminoles who have been a part of the nation for hundreds and hundreds of years, who are also getting discriminated against. So we're looking at all of those issues, and there may be other nations around the country, and we're happy to talk to people and see if it's something we can help with. It's very specific based upon your lineage. A lot of people say, hey, I got some Indian in me, but you have to be able to document it. And that's the thing about the Black Indians of Oklahoma. We are the most documented Black people in the nation. Because ever since they've been taking our land, starting in the late 1700s, they always create these lists of the citizens. So I can document my lineage back to the late 1700s, going all the way up to me. And so that's what it would take. But we know how to do that research, so it certainly could be a route.
Scott.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on your victory. Although, are you really saying that Indians, the Native Americans, discriminated against Black people, just like white people discriminated against Black people in this country?
No, he didn't say discriminated. He said enslaved.
Enslaved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the Black man can't catch a break.
Yeah, but go ahead, Scott.
So let me ask you this. So as part of this deal or this ruling, first thing that comes to mind is reparations. Are there any reparations in the mix in this ruling, or is that a subsequent separate lawsuit Black Creek would have to bring?
Yeah, great. That's a great question, and I think it's something that should be thought about. At this particular ruling, this is just about the citizenship aspect of it, and what we're hoping. Our goal, and I'm reaching out to the chief. I'm hoping he can meet with me before I come to Chicago. Scott, I'll see you in Chicago at the NBA conference. I'm hoping I can get to the chief on Friday, and let's have a discussion about, hey, how can we heal the divide? How can we work together, become one family again, and move forward and have that conciliation and be able to deal with some of these issues that even the ones you talked about? So those things are all on the table. But first and foremost, we just want to say, can we get our citizenship? Can you recognize us not only as first-class citizens within the nation, but recognize our contribution to the Creek Nation over the last 500 years. See, here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize we were here when Columbus got here. There were Black Creeks here when the European came here. We're well documented going back to the 1500s. And so don't try to erase our contribution. Don't try to erase what we've done. Don't try to erase our heroes and sheroes within the nation. Let's move forward as one people, and let's talk about how we heal. And obviously healing includes some type of reparatory justice.
Rebecca.
So how do you formalize that citizenship then?
So like I said, they have a full functioning government. They have a whole citizenship department. So they have three different locations. So in Northeast Oklahoma, they have one by Tulsa. You go, and what you have to show is that you are a direct lineal descendant from an individual that was listed on the 1906 Dawes Rolls. So it's either you are or you're not. You can't just decide, oh, I want to be on this roll. So like my great-grandfather, John W. Simmons, was a newborn in 1898. He's on that Dawes Rolls. And so I go from John W. Simmons to my grandmother, Johnny Mae Simmons, to my dad, Ahmad Shadi, to me. That's my lineage. That's how I can show that I am actually one that should be getting citizenship. Now I could go all the way back to Cal Tom, who was born in 1810, or I could go all the way back to Moses Perryman, who was born in 1780. So I could do that too.
Wow. Congratulations.
Rebecca.
Thank you.
Hey, Demario, it's good seeing you tonight.
What's up, Rebecca?
I'm listening to your story. So I spent some summers in the 80s in Muscogee Nation visiting my great-grandmother on my dad's side in the township of Summit, Oklahoma.
Oh, what?
Yes, Summit, Oklahoma. She had, when she passed away, she lived in a 2-room shack, she had an outhouse, didn't have indoor plumbing yet, so there was a pump in her kitchen area, but she finally got electricity. So now I got lots of questions. I'm going to have to call my daddy after the show tonight. How do you go about doing the research proving lineage?
Well, listen, I'm gonna help you out. All you have to do, and anyone that's listening that think they may have a connection, the way Rebecca just talked about, you can contact Justice for Greenwood. Go to justiceforgreenwood.org. We have a whole We Are Greenwood program. We have a little form there, and you can say, hey, I think I may be connected to the Black Indians of Oklahoma, and we'll do a little research and see if you pass the prerequisites. And if you do, then we can get you one of our genealogists. We have 5 genealogists within Justice for Greenwood that does this work, and then we have our sister coalition organization, the Muscogee Creek Indian Freedmen Band, and they also do this lineage work for you. So if you have someone on the Dawes Rolls, we can find it.
All right, then. Well, Demario, congratulations. It has been a long battle, and the fight continues. We appreciate it.
And let's say one other thing. Summit, Oklahoma is one of the traditional Black towns of Oklahoma, and reasons there's so many Black towns, including the great Greenwood, of the home of Black Wall Street, was because of the Black Indians had already been here. They had already been free. They already had land. They already had power, and they already had a freedom mind state. So it goes full circle.
Well, certainly enjoy this win because you will have few wins this fall when your Oklahoma Sooners play in the SEC.
That's all right, man. I'll take this win.
And you will have even fewer wins for your Dallas Cowboys. So, right, enjoy this one. But come football season, you will not have a joy. You'll be getting lots of text messages from me on Saturdays and Sundays this fall.
You know what? That may be true, but here's the deal. 43 days ago, Mayor Nichols announced the reparatory justice for Greenwood, and today we got justice for Black Creeks. Hey, I'm good for the rest of the year, dog.
Yeah, because you know y'all gonna be losing. All right, Demario, we appreciate it. And you're an Omega. You 0 for 3. All right, you 0 for 3. You just keep taking L's. All right.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase Right now, it's $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.